Okay, hello everyone, George Webb here in Utah. I decided to re-record about Tyler Robinson and more information we're finding out about Tyler Robinson when he left Utah State in 2021. Early in 2022, goes into an electrical training program at Dixie Tech in St. George for only 10 months, barely into 2023. That leaves a 2.5-year role here on the resume. I'm going to get away from the ticking time bomb, the ticking demolitions time bomb. I'm going to get away from the ticking demolitions time bomb of Tyler Robinson. But we do think he went into demolition. We do think he was going to school at night. He had some type of day job where he wasn't going to the school. He was going to school at night. He was only there 10 months. He had to leave. They're not saying why he left. I believe he left to go to the Ukraine war. We had Uncle Mikey, right? We don't know if it's his real uncle or if the uncle of his mother or the uncle of his father. We don't know who Uncle Mikey, what role he plays, but he's the one who got him involved in this 8-year ROTC program. Remember, he is probably the top math student, 99% percentile in calculus, AP calculus. That's for bridges and for dropping bridges, understanding those kind of things. He's not going and becoming an electrician to learn how to wire streetlights or wire doorbells, right? That's not what he's doing with Uncle Mikey. The war is going on. You do need for whom the bell tolls type demolitions experts. And as you can see, there's a lot of mountains here. There's a lot of gold near St. George. There's a lot of silver near St. George. Antimony is here for the space industry, night vision goggles. A lot of the trace elements that are here, besides gold, silver, also copper, also lead. So he probably has got a job in those mountains, in them thar mountains. There's gold there, there's lead, there's silver in the St. George area. We did a lot of work in the St. George area over the last 3 years, looking at this ATF team, this rogue ATF team, all the way back. They go all the way back to kind of having their ox gored at Fast and Furious that his father is potentially involved in. We talked earlier about how his father had to be in law enforcement for his kid not to be handcuffed, right? To have 2.5 hours to construct an alternative narrative with twigs rather than connecting him to armed queers with Maya. So all of these things lead you to believe to the things that we've reported. Early in 2023, he leaves. They can't say why they left the apprenticeship, but he's coming. Excuse me. Maybe all the mining dust from Tyler's explosions in the hills are getting to my Legionnaire's disease, my half a lung. So, but my point here is what we said about the working theory and what we said before we even knew who the killer was is leading us into the direction that we're quite correct, that it is this Ukraine group, and it is the motivating factor for killing Charlie Kirk. He was talking against the Ukraine war. You want to take out people who are going to college campuses where you need to get your recruits. You don't want him poisoning the well. You don't want Charlie Kirk poisoning the well on your recruits. What you want is an active force that's willing to go fight, if not through a draft by Donald Trump, which he's done a 180 on the Ukraine war, then by a mercenary, sort of the General Dynamics mercenaries that we did in Vietnam. Get your foot in the door, get your toe in the water in Ukraine with American mercenaries. The next thing is we've got boots on the ground. The next thing is we have boots on the ground.